My favorite wireless security camera company just released one for the outdoors. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter von Panda. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm a fan of the Wyze Cams. They are great little security cameras and they're really inexpensive and easy to set up. But for the longest time, people have been asking Wyze Cam for an outdoor camera, and so they've been working on it. A lot of people have been taking their indoor cameras and just getting covers and trying to waterproof them themselves, but this one is absolutely meant for the outdoors. Now, if you want to pick this up, you actually need to pick up the camera as well as the starter kit here, which will include the camera and then the Wi-Fi base. Once you get this set up with the base, then you can just pick up the expansion cameras. It's very much like the Amazon Blink outdoor cameras. Now, I will say that this is very inexpensive compared to some of the other ones. And I also want to say here that I have had the Blink XD cameras and they have been pretty good, but I've had to replace the batteries more than I've liked, and they have been a little wonky sometimes. The connections have not always worked, and sometimes I've had to go up and reset them. And when you put a camera like up in the rafters or something, that's not that easy. Now, I also want to say that because I got this as soon as they released it for early supporters, they sent me this. I have no idea what's in this box. It has nothing to do with the cameras as far as I can tell, but I thought I'd show it to you anyway. So, all right. Looks like an ashtray. Oh, all right. So, buckaroo. I think this is a little cowboy hat for the top of your Wyze Cam. And despite what it's meant for, I am just gonna wear it like this when I go out to all my social events. All right, so you can see it's molded in there, and then you can put it on there. I've always kind of wanted a cowboy hat. It's really interesting to see how cowboy hats are made. They're like crushed felt. I didn't know that. Hey, here is the box. It's actually pretty heavy because I think we get a couple of pieces in here, and looks like a little washing machine. Oh man, this is significantly heavier than your standard Wyze cameras, which, like I said, I love. It's kind of got a similar shape, but it's bigger. It's bigger in all the dimensions, even though it looks very much like it. You can see the Death Star design on the front here. I think that's kind of what they called it in development. The Wyze logo up on the top. We can see here we have a little rubber silicone cover on the back, and that is a micro USB port, I think for maybe charging it up. Looks like there's a little hole that might be for the reset button. There also is a little hole right there. I'm not sure what that's for. And then I think infrared illuminator, and then the lens. And then we have this base with a little rubber square on the bottom. We also have a couple holes if you want to mount this to the wall. You can use it with screws. And then if I just pull this, you have that articulating foot, kind of like you do on the regular Wyze Cam, but I can tell you it's much stiffer. And that's important because I think you are going to want it stiff, especially when it's going to be on the outdoors. You can also see we have a little sync button, and then a little micro SD slot right there that you have to pull away the silicone for, just under there. But this rotates, collapses, you can aim it, attach it to your wall, put it in the angle that you want, which is pretty cool. All right, and then in here, we still have a little base. It looks kind of like a small Wi-Fi router. It's all white plastic. This is actually quite light. You can see it says Wyze right on the top there. And then again, we have a LAN cable port right there, the power port right there. Looks like the sync button, and then it looks like another SD card slot and a USB slot on this side, and the little hole right there for the reset. And again, a rubber base on there. And then down here, we have all your accessories. So it does come with a Ethernet cable right there. Comes with a micro USB to USB cable right here. It also comes with a power plug for the base, single prong, 2-prong outlet. Comes with a couple screws and plastic anchors for drywall. And we also get the instruction booklet right here. So I'm gonna read through these and let's get this thing set up. So the first thing we have to do to set this up is to put this little hub into a router. Now, I am hoping that we can actually do that with this little Eero spot here, because this is actually not my main Eero. This is just the one closest to the garage, which is where I want my camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into one of these Wi-Fi nodes here. And we do have power and a little yellow light. So I'm gonna go to the app and see if I can go ahead and set this up. So now I'm in the app. I'll hit this plus sign up at the top left. I'm going to go to add a device, and then I'm going to scroll down to Wyze Cam Outdoor right here at the top. Looks like you need to set up a base station. Yes, I do. And they'll need to be on the same network, so I went ahead and plugged that in. And let's just see if this little yellow light flashes blue. It's flashing blue. And the light has gone solid blue, so I'm going to check that and hit next. So it does look like it'll work off of one of my mesh Wi-Fi nodes, which is great. Okay, so it looks like I have the base station set up. Now, let's go ahead and add the Wyze Cam. And I'm just sitting in my kitchen with it first before I go ahead and install it outside. I want to make sure that it's set up. Now, I'm going to open up the back of the camera here. And there's a little power switch, so I'm going to slide that on. Hit begin setup. Going to hit the sync button on the bottom of the camera.
Pairing is in progress. Please wait.
Well, that's a good sign.
Setup is complete.
Another good sign. So I'm going to call this one garage door. And finish. All right, now my garage door camera says it is available. The battery's at 99%. I'm curious to see if it's working. There it is. Now, my top tip when installing this is to hold on to the screws that come with this, because the screw holes there are not that big. You would think any normal picture hanging screw would work, but you actually need a pretty small screw to get into that little hole so that you can lock this in. So hold on to those screws. Most screws don't fit. All right, let's get it set up. Okay, my setup might be a little unique in that I want it pointed down because I actually want to look at the front of my garage door where I have a lot of things delivered. So it's probably not the normal setup for a lot of outdoor cams, but that's why it's pointed kind of straight down at me. Now let's see if it's working.
Yeah, security camera set up. It's working. Oh yeah. How do you like me now?
So I've been using the Wyze Cam Outdoor now for a couple days, and I really like it. I mean, in terms of overall quality, it's really about what I expected, which was a pretty good execution for an outdoor camera. I will say it's pretty large and it's pretty heavy, but I think the fact that it carries like two 2600 milliamp hour batteries means that it should stay powered up for a long time. It's actually one of the big advantages of this is that you don't have to run any power cords to it. Now, despite the fact that I wanted to get this review published right away, I think most people have a question about wireless outdoor security cameras that run on batteries, and that is how long do they last? So I wanted to wait. Now, it's been over a month since I have installed this Wyze outdoor camera, and I have been using it judiciously. I haven't used it more than I would normally use it, and I do have motion detection set up, and the weather has been warm, so it might not last as long when it's cold out, but I haven't been trying to avoid using it, and I certainly have logged in sometimes just to see what it's seeing. Now, I will say that based on my experience here, it is burning the battery at about 0.5% a day, which if you do the math here, it's pretty exciting. Now, 100% battery capacity means that this thing could run 200 days potentially. Now, no one's going to run it to zero. Maybe you will, and especially if it's colder out, I don't think batteries last quite as long. But the idea here that it could run 180 days, 6 months of continuous use without recharging, I think is pretty darn good. It's really a testament to what they're doing with the battery management on these things. So that combined with the fact that it is attached to the base with a magnet, so I can just go up there, grab it, pull it off, throw it into a charger on a micro USB cable overnight, recharge that sucker up and get another 6 months, I think is brilliant. So I think they really thought this thing through, even in a better way than I think the Blink XT cameras. So I am super happy with the Wyze outdoor camera. I actually ordered 2 more of the actual cameras without the starter bundle. You'll need that base station to get this thing working, but I ordered 2 more to use them around the house and outside, so I think they are great and maybe the best value for the dollar that you can get. Hey, if you want to pick up the Wyze outdoor camera, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter von Panda, out.